Alright, let's see what kind of trouble has stirred up on Twitter today. Wait a minute. The Mario and Sonic Olympics series is officially ending? Wow, I've been waiting so long for this day, and I'm sure everyone else is feeling the same way too. Wait another minute. People are actually upset about it? I thought everybody hated these games. Where did all these defenders come from? I mean, the first three were fun, but everything after London 2012 was where the bag was fumbled. But I think it's time I reminded folks why the series wasn't really that special. Or at least I should tell them why it's probably for the best that it's ending. Hey Google, open up Filmora.
It's me, Mario and the gang, you probably know my name. And so we start the game, jumping high, ducking low, from the sky to the ocean. How come Peach can't stop being stolen? Need a Firefly or star power now for Bowser. Koopa Troopa, Super Goomba, soon to lose a life. It's me and Peach and Luigi, so you know, stop and don't rock and roll. Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Well. Another day, another end of an era. The Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games series has officially ended, confirmed by one of the producers. Not gonna lie, part of me wants to feel sad because the first three games were when the series peaked in my opinion. So to give credit where it's due, when the game started getting fun, they really got fun. And as you heard and saw from my laughably bad acting skills, I'm neither upset or excited about this news. Part of me saw it coming a mile away. The hints were practically everywhere once the official Paris 2024 Olympics came to order, and there wasn't any Mario and Sonic announcements in that time. Not even in the Nintendo Direct, which people were expecting thanks to a certain user on Twitter with the red bird as their PFP, who's most likely about to be terminated. But to keep things at peace for the time being, I'll understand if you enjoyed the heck out of the series and if you're gonna miss it. Personally, I feel Mario and Sonic at the Olympics has really ran its course, and is better off discontinuing, which it has. Honestly, I'm shocked that the series was able to last this long, and has reached the point where it has a total of 6 installments, and barely half of them are worth playing. And just like everyone else who looks up to these two fabulous icons, I had my hands on my cheeks for the whole time when watching this trailer back in 2007. Even though it felt completely random for these two former rivals to face each other for the first time in the Olympics of all things. Nonetheless, it was something fresh and was an incredible idea. But now, ever since the 2014 Winter Games, the series has gotten just as stale as the bread you'd see in deli stores. That's how drained I feel with the series. I mean, just look at the box arts. Could these possibly be more plain and simplistic? And by this point, I wouldn't even care that much for the official Olympics either. But as I said, once the 2014 Olympics came, I'm sure most people were already tired and felt like it was time for the series to retire, and sure enough, I was kinda feeling the same way at the time. Rio 2016 wasn't hitting either. In fact, I don't recall actually liking anything about the game. And from what I remember, there was supposed to be a Pyeongchang Winter Olympics in 2018, but was cancelled because I guess Mario and Sonic were banned in Korea at the time. But I don't exactly think it was a big shocker that the events were getting lazier and lazier, since there are only so little ways you can change up how certain events play, like racing, swimming, boxing, canoeing, and what have you. And over time, you'd eventually realize that you're basically buying the same games again and again, with each new one feeling nowhere near worth the $60 price tag. Plus, those titles kept getting longer and more painful to say each time. Like, imagine someone saying this: "Can we buy Mario and Sonic at the Sochi 2014 Olympic Winter Games?" And that's just it. What else can they really do with this series that hasn't already been done before with much better results? I mean, you had the Dream events, which sure as hell spiced things up, but they decided to stop making those even though they were clearly the highlight. And they instead decided to just make the same events except with more obstacles or whatever in Sochi and Rio. At least until Tokyo 2020, I guess, even though it only featured 3 Dream events, which is probably because they wanted to draw more attention to the 2D retro style of events, which were overall just... meh. Of course, we can't forget about the story modes, even though that was basically the first thing I did once I completed them. The only ones I really got a kick out of are Vancouver and Tokyo, all because they had hub worlds for you to roam around in. I never understood why the console versions couldn't have the story modes until Tokyo 2020 for some reason. It's just sad because in some ways you can tell that the designers for these games are quite talented and are stuck with just making these generic minigame collection titles and not using that talent to make something grander. Like, they literally inserted all the fun locations you saw in Mario and Sonic games, like Sweet Mountain, Radical Highway, Mushroom Bridge, Bowser's Castle. It was all there. And I absolutely adore the unique character animations and interactions during the award ceremonies and such. Just the fact that we don't have an actual Mario and Sonic crossover adventure game makes only 0 out of 100% of sense. Although a potential reason as to why that could be is because Kishimoto and the rest of Sonic Team want Sonic games to someday reach the same level of quality as Mario, to eventually reach the point where they can surpass Mario, or for Sonic games to at least stand shoulder to shoulder with Mario games. But on the upside, it is good to set goals to accomplish, and Sonic has been getting his act together lately, but attempting to surpass a franchise that has no bad very little bad games, you still got ways to go, pal. Even so, I feel that shouldn't really matter because both franchises are special and important in their own ways, and have more than enough substance to do something truly epic. Hell, the closest these games got to implementing elements from both universes of Mario and Sonic were during the Dream events and minigames from Tokyo 2020. But were these Olympic games really the best thing they could think of? And did these games really mean or do much with the Mario or Sonic series? Not really, but why would it? It would make sense as if they wanted to support the official Olympics in game format and using the 2 most famous mascots in gaming history to do that, but that could leave a few bleak qualities for not just the series or Olympics in general, but the 2 franchises on their own as well. Like, why would some of these characters really want to compete in these generic Olympic sports when most of them are pure fighters? Why would Shadow ever have the enthusiasm to compete in these sports? Why would Sonic feel the need to compete in a sport that involves running? How are Bowser, DK, and Eggman able to sit on these horses? And how is Metal Sonic, a freaking robot, even allowed to participate in these events? Why do you think people keep asking for an actual Mario and Sonic crossover adventure game to happen? And the fact that these of all games show respect to certain obscure characters more than the actual games do puts both series of characters to shame for how little they seem to be utilized by their own properties. Like, when was the last time Blaze and Eggman Nega appeared or had an active role in a Sonic game? At least Rosalina wasn't forgotten about thanks to her appearances in other Mario spin-offs, and even Sparks of Hope. Now look, I do have my respect for the Olympic series, but I'm sure most agree that the series has run its course and isn't desired at all these days. But seeing it end this way is quite abrupt, I'll admit, but I guess that's what I wanted. Although, to be fair, I think I will miss the beautifully animated intros along with the character interactions we were given in the series. And I do have fond memories of playing the 2007 and 2012 games at my school back in the day when we would have those fun days. Even the commercials were a thrill as well. At least there was more care put into these games than one could assume. But for some reason, Sochi 2014 decided to not have a decently animated intro, which already proves why some call it the worst in the series. Although, if an actual Mario and Sonic crossover game that absolutely has nothing to do with the Olympics is possible, what would be the outcome? A platformer? Fighting? RPG? See? The possibilities are endless, and Nintendo and Sega could definitely pull something off if they locked in. But other than that, Mario and Sonic at the Olympics had a good run, and I'm glad to have played these games, but I think most should be in agreement that the series should have ended sooner or later, and now, here we are. I'm sure it'll enjoy retirement. I just hope that now that the series is ending, it won't be the last time we see these characters coexisting in the same game together if it wasn't Smash Bros. Or what have you. So who knows what'll happen next. Be sure to let me know what you think an actual Mario and Sonic crossover would look like. And of course, thank you guys for watching, comment, like, and subscribe if you enjoyed, and have a nice day.